Welcome to The Explainer. Today we are diving deep into the latest quarterly results from global tech leader Infosys. Let's unpack the numbers and see what's really going on.
All right, here's our game plan for this explainer. We're going to kick things off with the big headline numbers, then we'll follow the money to see exactly where it's coming from. After that, we'll look at the key partnerships that are fueling their growth, and we'll wrap up by looking at the massive team that makes it all happen. Sound good? Let's get started.
First up, the big numbers. These are the key metrics that really paint the picture of the last 3 months for Infosys.
So the big story this quarter is the incredible volume of large deals they closed. We're talking a massive $3.1 billion. But here's the kicker. 67% of that is brand new business. So this isn't just about renewing existing contracts. They are actively winning new clients and new projects, which shows some serious momentum and a ton of confidence from the market.
Now, for anyone who's an investor, this is a big one. Earnings per share shot up by over 13% compared to last year. What that really means is the company is getting more profitable and it's delivering more value back to its shareholders from its day-to-day operations.
And here's a really powerful sign of a company's financial health. Over $1 billion in free cash flow. You could think of this as the pure, cold, hard cash left in the bank after all the bills are paid. Having that kind of cash on hand gives Infosys a ton of flexibility to invest in new technology, maybe acquire other companies, or just reward its investors.
Okay, so let's pull all these numbers together for a second. You can see that revenues and net profit are both growing at a really steady clip. But the number I want you to focus on here is the operating margin. It's holding strong at 21%. That tells us that even as the company gets bigger, it's managing its costs incredibly well and staying super profitable.
So all this growth is great, but where is it actually coming from? Let's peel back the layers and break down the revenue by both industry and by where in the world they're doing business.
No huge surprise here, financial services is still the biggest piece of the pie, making up almost 28% of their revenue. But the real story here is the diversification. You got major chunks coming from manufacturing, energy, and retail. This means Infosys has built this really balanced portfolio, so they're not just relying on one single sector to succeed.
And if we look at the map, North America is still the absolute powerhouse, accounting for more than half of all their revenue. But the real growth story to watch might be Europe. It now makes up nearly 32% of the total and showed really strong growth. This tells me their expansion into that key market is really paying off.
You can tell a lot about a company by the company it keeps. Beyond the raw numbers, a company's strength really shows up in its partners. So let's take a look at the strategic collaborations Infosys is building to drive their future growth.
First up is a huge collaboration with the payments giant MasterCard. Infosys is partnering with them to expand global access to MasterCard Move, which is their big portfolio for international money transfers. This is a massive play in the booming world of digital finance and global e-commerce.
And look, you don't just have to take my word for it. Hearing this directly from an EVP at MasterCard makes it so much more powerful. They're highlighting that this partnership is all about delivering that seamless experience that customers just expect now. It's a massive stamp of approval from a huge player in the industry.
All right, next we're heading down under for another major move. Infosys is launching a joint venture with Australia's biggest telecom company, Telstra. They've acquired a 75% stake in a Telstra subsidiary called Versant Group, which is a pretty serious investment to push AI and cloud solutions in that region.
And again, just listen to the language coming from the partner. The CEO of Telstra is pointing specifically to Infosys's global scale and their culture of innovation. This shows that the company's reputation isn't just some marketing buzzword. It's a core asset that actually helps them close these enormous deals.
So what's the common thread tying these huge, high-profile partnerships together? Well, a lot of it comes down to one thing: expertise in next-generation technology. And for Infosys, that means a deep, deep focus on artificial intelligence.
And it's not just them saying it. The entire industry has taken notice. I mean, look at this. It's practically a wall of proof. Top analyst firms like Gartner, IDC, and Constellation are all consistently calling Infosys a leader across the board in AI, generative AI, and cloud services. This is serious third-party validation of just how good their tech is.
Okay, this slide right here. This really explains their entire strategy. This is the Infosys Digital Navigation Framework, and I want you to look right at the very center. At the absolute core of everything they offer their clients, from innovation to user experience, is the AI-first enterprise. This shows that AI isn't just some feature they've bolted on. It is the engine that drives their whole business model.
But of course, all these frameworks, partnerships, and big deals don't just happen on their own. None of this is possible without a massive and incredibly skilled workforce. So let's wrap this up by looking at the people who are actually getting these results.
The sheer scale here is just staggering. Infosys now has over 330,000 employees globally, and it's worth pointing out that nearly 40% of them are women, which is a really strong number for the tech industry. Finally, that last number, voluntary attrition, that's just the rate people choose to leave, is at a pretty healthy 14.3%, which tells you they're doing a good job of holding on to their best talent.
So let's bring it all home. What happens when you combine a massive global pool of human talent with a core strategy that is built from the ground up around artificial intelligence? You get a company that isn't just planning for the next quarter, but is positioning itself for the next decade. And that leaves us with a pretty fascinating question. How is this powerful blend of human and machine intelligence going to reshape the future of business as we know it?